12 o'clock, number 14, Syracuse is 6-0, traveling to Clemson. Number 4, I believe. I must have blanked and not wrote that down. I believe they're the number 14. No, they got somebody. They're number 5 now. 5. Clemson's 5. 7-0, Clemson favored by 14 on ABC. Garrett Schrader, I hardly know her, for Syracuse has gone 106 and 152, thrown for 1,434 yards, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Sean Tucker, I hardly know her, on the ground, has had 124 carries for 694 yards and 6 touchdowns. And Aaron Gadsden II has had 31 catches for 507 yards and 5 touchdowns. DJU for Clemson has gone 137 and 213, thrown for 1,665 yards, 17 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Only 2 interceptions so far this year. Very much taking care of the football, which is what you need to do if you want to win football games if you're Clemson, which, honestly, rest of the games outside of this one should be a cakewalk. Will Shipley has had 96 carries on the ground for 567 yards and 8 touchdowns, and Antonio Williams through the air has had 24 catches for 334 yards and 2 touchdowns. Clemson is 8-2 against Syracuse all time. Last 4 games have gone to Clemson. Last Syracuse win was in the Miracle 2017 year, where they somehow upset the Tigers, and it was a big shock to everyone. Clemson went from number 1 in the polls, falling down a good amount. And it was a big shock to everyone that Syracuse was able to do that. Syracuse has never won at Clemson. Their one of their wins was at home, and the other one was in Jacksonville in the 50s. So again, Syracuse rarely beats Clemson, but this is probably the best Syracuse team they've had in a while. This is Clemson's best chance at a loss for the rest of the year. I mean, Notre Dame's arguable, but I think right now Syracuse is for sure playing better football. You're talking about a Notre Dame team that lost to Stanford last weekend. They have the possibility of being good. I mean, they've shown that. You've beaten a good UNC team. They've done other good things. I can't name them off the top of my head. They have won football games now. But this game is going to go one of 2 ways. Either Clemson's going to blow it out, or it's going to be a 3-point game, right? It's either going to be really tight or just a complete blowout. I don't see really an in-between here. Now, Clemson has had some issues closing out football games in the past. The FSU game is a great case of that. FSU almost came back and only lost by 6 points. Clemson was up by double digits in the 4th, and they almost blew that lead. So, again, you're going to have to watch out for that here. If you're Clemson, Syracuse is arguably probably maybe the 3rd best team you've played so far. Obviously, Wake Forest is probably the best team you've played so far. And I think NC State with Devin Leary is also a really tough football team. But outside of that, you've been playing some tough football teams. I'm not going to lie. And this is a tough ending to a tough stretch for Clemson. But if you can get past Syracuse with a win, I can almost guarantee you a spot in the playoffs if you're the Tigers, as long as you don't slip up against a bad team like Notre Dame, a bad team like South Carolina, or a bad team like Louisville. Should be an easy walk to the playoffs if you're Clemson. On the other hand, this is a big game for Syracuse, because next weekend, Syracuse plays, I want to say Florida State. They've got some tough games left ahead. They've played NC State, they've yet to play Wake, they've yet to play FSU. Syracuse still has some tough games ahead of them, and you kind of need this one, right? If you really want to stay in playoff contention, this loss, or at least keep it close, would be an absolute shot to those chances. I kind of expect Clemson to win. I expect Clemson to dominate. I expect Clemson to win and cover the spread.